Albert calls your brother Yadi his little brother. I think they still talk weekly. How about the impact you think Albert had on your brother's career?
I mean, Albert took it under his wing and just kind of carry him through those first couple years and teach him the right way to be a professional major league player. Know how the league wants, know what your teammates is all about, respect everybody. And I think Albert was a huge part of that. Yadi become what he is right now.
How hard do you think it was on Yadi when Albert left the Cardinals?
Oh, I really can't tell you that. That was probably one of the hardest days of his life.
Really?
Yeah, it's like taking your brother away that you have there. I don't know how many years Albert were there with, them together, and just take your brother apart, you just kind of rip a piece of his heart.
What did he tell you about it?
I remember like it's today. He was so sad that he wasn't coming back. Kind of put Yadi on an other level, like, not mad, but kind of disappointed of it didn't work. He thought it was going to be, Albert for life, Yadi and Albert for life, but it didn't work that way. But at the same time, Albert teach him a lesson, teaching this is a business, that anything can happen, and no matter what, you got to still go out there and do your thing. You got to perform. So, and that's exactly what Yadi did.
You had, I guess, probably the dubious challenge of coming in as manager the season he left.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part of that for you?
Well, there was a lot going on. You lose Hall of Fame manager and Tony La Russa, Dave Duncan, just a historic career as a pitching coach, and then you're losing one of the greatest hitters in the history of the game as your number 3 hole guy. So they're bringing in a guy who had no experience whatsoever. So there was plenty of things to think about that could get in the way of us trying to continue to compete. But the guys and the players that we had such a great group that were paying real close attention to the kind of player Albert was, but also the kind of leader. And it allowed people like the Yadier Molinas and the Adam Wainwrights and Matt Holliday's to step in and kind of try to fill those shoes, which are very hard shoes to fill.
The Cardinals had a mulligan on that one. What's the likelihood they would have handled it differently, you think, with him? And
there were a lot of moving parts with that, but I do know that the Cardinals desperately wanted to try and make it happen. And there are a lot of different components that go into trying to make that work. But I know the Cardinal fan base. I know the Cardinal ownership and the organization, and I know Albert. It was a special place in each of their hearts for Albert Pujols, number 5 in St. Louis.
Explain what that was like to go through realizing he was no longer going to be in the team.
The guy that I used to, just watch every single day and closely watch, and carried us to a World Series, and we created memories that were incredible. And when you finally realize he's not going to be there, it was a different situation. But obviously we were very happy for him. Especially myself, gone through free agency now. Years later. You're going to do what's best for you and your family, and that's a personal decision, and we all respect it at the time. And like I said, it goes beyond the business of the game for us. It's that friendship and that bond that we created those years we were together.
What would you say is the earliest memory you have of Albert?
Boy, that's hard to say, because when he broke on the scene, he did it with such a splash. I know Tony kept saying, "Gee, will he make the team? Won't he make the team?" And he's basically the best hitter on the team in spring training, and he was just, incredible player and great baseball IQ, and, he did everything well.
Just a young, talented player, but you see a lot of those coming into spring training, and so I don't think anybody had the crystal ball to see the kind of career, the kind of impact he was going to have on the game, but you could see that he was special.
I talk to guys all the time about him, how I got a lot of my routine in baseball from him. He stuck to his routine every single day, and he had laser mind focus, and you know, at this time, you know, everyone wanted a piece of him in somehow, some way. I mean, he was, you know, obviously everyone knows how, you know, what a remarkable career he's had, and he still has more left. But, you know, especially in St. Louis, you know, those times, and I got to see, I was there for that.
How about your favorite moment from his career?
I mean, for me, you know, it's winning the World Series with him. You know, when he goes down in the Hall of Fame and they talk about him being a World Series champion, you know, I was part of one of those. You know, I got to grind every day with him, and like I said, he's you know, one of my mentors to this day. So, you know, for me, when I look back, that's, you know, a very special moment. You know, I'll never forget, you know, that celebration after the game. You know, with a Hall of Fame player, which is amazing.
You're looking to one of the best players, or top 3 at least, to me, if not the best ever. And the way he goes about business, you know, the way he practices, the way he takes care of himself, is a privilege just to be around him. And even more when he treats you like a brother too.
What impresses you about his mechanics?
Jeez, I mean, I wish I have a little bit, just a third of what he had.
Yeah.
I think I probably still could play right now.
Wait, but what is it that he has?
He's just a baseball player that loves to play it, and he's just talented in every aspect of the game. You know, defense, offense, mind, everything. You just use it all, and you don't see that very often in players these days anymore.
When his careers look back on, what will most stand out to you about it?
To have watched him and had the pleasure of seeing what he could do for a baseball team for 11 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals was, I mean, how fortunate we all were to see that.